It's the YT and Chris Show, SA Bros. Yeah. Welcome everybody to the Monday Night Show. You chilling with the SA Bros. Tonight, we got a special guest, man. He's so cool. Max Kaan, he will make you thrill. Do stranger things. He's a hypnotherapist from SA. Seen the world and did shows on stages everywhere. You must know. TV personality, radio too. Hypnotized more than a few of lekker dudes. But one thing we wish that he could fix is the cock happening in the politics. On SA Bros. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SA Bros. Chris, wat sê my pal?
Lekker and you, but I had a lekker day. I had a miff day, dude. I had like a chill Monday. What day is today?
Monday, yes, 100%. Although we don't
Monday.
know what it means anymore. Yes, it's Monday.
Okay, so I don't know what day it is anymore. But, dude, I had such a lekker day. I spent a lot of it working with you. It's like Mondays are days just to get everything in order and get everything right. And after that, everything's just a lekker cruise throughout the week, man.
Exactly.
Max Kaan, lekker. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I see the guys are pouring in already. So, guys,
Yes.
how's it, everybody? Billy, how you doing? Guys, what a great start to the week. We've got a brilliant guy here tonight, Mr. Max Kaan, the hypnotist, the keynote speaker, the therapist. You name it, this man does it. So we are glad that he's here with us to start our brand new week with you guys. And remember, guys, ask your question. That's what he's here for. At the end of the show, we will be giving out Max's number if you need help with quitting smoking, especially because you can't get smokes at the moment, or you've been struggling with something or any issue in your life. Just give Max a call. It is I can vouch for Max. I've been friends with the man for a very long time. I've given him customers for a very long time, and patients rather. Let's call it that, not customers.
Yeah,
and they came back to me with great success stories. So, guys, please welcome everybody, Mr. Max Kaan. Good evening, Max. How are you doing?
Good evening, YT. Chris, I'm doing very well, thanks, and it's great to be on the show. I'm looking forward to having a great evening with you.
Oh, so are we,
yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So
and thank you
we.
so much for joining us as well, Max. It is a bit of time out of your current schedule, let's call it that. And we're very
to the world.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Max. So let's get right into it, Max. And I just read on News 24, we're on day 46 of this national lockdown. And you know what? No matter what you say about level 4 or whatever, we are stuck at home. We are entertainers. You're an entertainer. You're a keynote speaker. You're a motivational speaker. What have you been doing at home for the last 46 days to keep yourself busy, to keep yourself sane? Have you been doing projects with patients telephonically? Just give us a synopsis of what you've been up to.
Absolutely. You know what? I've been revising all my material and bringing it up to date. And I'm writing 4 books at the moment simultaneously, so they're going to be coming out shortly. The other thing is I have not been overeating like a lot of us. I did not bulk buy any foodstuffs. I can tell you at the beginning of lockdown, I was 89 kilograms. And I weighed myself this morning, I'm 92. So I'm maintaining a fairly strict, normal type regime. Obviously, all my traveling and engagements has come to a grinding halt, but I am making use of the Zoom platform and the GoToWebinar, and I'm doing a lot of work through that. Although I'm a people's person, as you know, Whitey, and I love being face to face. I love being in the thick of things. I feel like a boxer having a virtual fight, and as you can well imagine, that's absolutely impossible. But that's how I feel right now. I like to be there, belly button to belly button, eye to eye, skin to skin, ear to ear, and so I'm a little bit out of sorts. But you know what? I'm not the only one. At times, I think I'm the only guy that this is actually happening to. And then I
Yeah.
realized it's the entire country. I realized it's the entire
Yeah.
world because it doesn't really matter where I would find myself in the world. We're all in lockdown and we've just got to obey the authorities until they give us the green light to return to what we might have considered was normal. Although I don't know that normal will ever be normal again. Normality
No.
is a word that might never come back. But anyway, we carry on because I mean, just take it day by day. The big secret is not to look too far into the future, just to take this day by day, and to keep yourself busy and to know that things will return. I think that's a big secret.
Yeah, 100%, Max. And you know what you just said there, you felt like a virtual boxer without an audience. Now, I wanted to mention this last week Friday. We had Chris van Heerden, who's a professional boxer out of the United States, but he is South African born, and he said there might be a fight that he has to go do in Las Vegas in 2 weeks, but it will be an empty stadium. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I watched the WrestleMania, WWE WrestleMania, but they did it in a closed off gym where
Ah,
these
what's
guys
that?
were
Yeah.
wrestling each other, but there was not one single person watching except for the commentators and the cameraman. And I could see, because they're sports entertainers, that they're not performing as normal because you feed off the energy
Oh yeah.
of your crowd. Like you as a person on stage, if you've got 5,000 people off you and they're giving you everything, you feed off that. Same with me as a DJ, same with Chris as a musician, we feed off of it. So I don't know how these people will be able to stand there and do a show where there's absolutely nobody. That's, I think, if you can maybe give us some advice or say if I'm right, that would be the biggest stage fright because you're standing there, you're not seeing anybody, and you like freeze. You're like, is that something that might ever happen? What do you feel?
Well, you know what? I subscribe to what you just said there, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, it's an energy thing. I give out waves of energy, and I give it out with great confidence because I know that energy is going to return to me. But the big
True.
secret in show business is that you always, and it doesn't matter if you're an entertainer, a singer, a DJ, it doesn't matter what your profession is. If you're in show business, there's a motto that I personally carry, and that is that you always play to a full house. So if the auditorium holds 1,000 people and there's only 500 people there, well,
Yeah.
you imagine 500, like let's say people in those vacant seats, and it
Yeah.
happens to me often. I'll look over an empty seat and smile, and people notice that, and they'll say to me afterwards, "But Max, you were looking over at that table, and there was no one sitting there, and you were waving and smiling." And I said, well, maybe you didn't see anybody sitting there, but I saw like 10 people sitting there. And no, no, it really does work. And I've always used that because, you know, any comedian will tell you that when they start their evening or they start their gig, they're never quite sure which jokes are going to go down well. So they try the shotgun approach. They throw out a few jokes and see which one the audience likes, and then off they go. And the big secret is to imagine these people smiling at you, although they're not there, but you're imagining it. And never before has it come in handy because nowadays, with, as you say, the virtual audiences and
Yeah.
no one in the actual auditorium or the arena, it's nerve wracking. But
It is.
if you can play to that imaginary full house, it's the next best thing, if not the best thing, because it's the only thing we've got right now.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
Max, you know what? We had PG Paradigm on our C. He's also saying, "Hey, watching Chris," and he's also a motivational speaker, and but obviously in a different kind of route to what you guys, what you are doing. And we had a great chat about how he's had to adapt to like coming across to the new crowds now, because the whole platform has changed. Like you say, everything's going into a digital world now. And what's the biggest change for you? Because obviously you've been doing this for us amazingly long time. You've traveled the world. You've done so many shows. What's the biggest change for you? How do you see your future doing what you do at the moment? How can you hypnotize somebody online?
You know what? You can hypnotize someone online, but there's always that risk that because you're not there personally. If
Yeah.
something goes wrong, and many things can go wrong, you're
Yeah.
not there within an arm's length to
Yeah.
arrest it. So you could be sitting like thousands of kilometers away,
Yeah.
remotely, virtually, and it's a little bit disconcerting.
Yeah.
So you've got to be very careful.
Especially in
But
South
it's
Africa with
the way
Eskom,
things are
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what? Right now, it's the only way you can really contact people. So the trick is to put them into a light trance. Now, my good friend Whitey is
Yeah.
what we would term an excellent hypnotic subject, and he tends to go quite deep. So if I was hypnotizing someone like Whitey remotely, I'd be
Yeah.
very not concerned, but I'd be mindful of that, and I would try and keep the trance as
Yeah.
light as possible, so that there's less chance of, let's say, something happening, or Whitey slipping away or not responding, or something like that.
Yes.
But it's what we have to deal with at this moment in time, and it's affecting everybody,
Well, I
not
saw it
least all us
happen on
hypnotists.
Friday night. Friday night was Whitey's birthday party, and afterwards we had a great session. And I also, I experienced that digital thing where I watched him slip into like out of arm's reach. But that is purely because of whiskey, But I can totally relate to what
No,
you're saying, and because the last thing I want to see is like, okay, here comes my neighbor. He's running around like a chicken or freaking. He's a porn star that's only attracted to tires or something. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a massive risk to what you're doing now because you are playing with people's minds.
Yeah, exactly.
the risk is one thing, but the
Yeah.
responsibility is the other thing. We've got John Gilson there asking, do I remember hypnotizing at Matey's pub? I think that was your pub, Whitey.
Yes, it
Yes.
was
So
my
you
pub.
owned Matey's
John
for a
also
while, yeah.
owned Mateys at one stage before us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, John, yes, I do remember hypnotizing you. That's one thing. I have an excellent memory, and someone stopped me pre-COVID at Clearwater
Yeah.
and said, "Do you remember hypnotizing me at the Four Ways School in 1996?" And I looked at the guy. I thought, no. But I didn't want to spoil his morning because he remembered me. So I said, yes, yes, I do. And I remember what I got you to do. And he agreed with me. So we stood there chatting for about 5, 10 minutes. It was quite lovely. 1996, I mean, that's what, 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
The time is just flying. It's quite scary, but
It's insane.
being here beats the alternative, and so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and here's another question from Renier Annandale. I've always been skeptical about hypnosis. Might needed to stop smoking during lockdown. So there's something for you, Max.
Here's the guy. This is the guy you need to speak to. We are going to be
Yes.
sending his number and stuff on you, but let him tell you more. Max?
You know what, Rene? Yeah, I can understand your skepticism, and the great thing about hypnosis is you can quit smoking just for the lockdown period now, if that's what you want to do. So you won't have all this agitation about where you get your next carton of cigarettes from. Are you going to be breaking the law by buying them illegally? Things like that. So you can stop quite easily until lockdown's over. Then you can go back to smoking. Or if you're as smart as I think you are, Rene, you'll stay stopped because it's actually very, very easy to stop smoking. It's easier to stop than what it was to start. So, yeah, my number will be coming up shortly, Rene. So please give me a call and we'll set up a session. Well, if we can't get together, we'll do it virtually. And it will take us no more than 15, 20 minutes. There you go. And you'll be on song for the rest of the lockdown.
Oh, my God.
you
I think my
I'm
wife is
looking
going to
forward to
love you.
that.
My wife's
Yeah,
going to
so-
love you, Max, because if you can get me to stop smoking, I know she'll be over the moon. Because I'm one of those guys. If I don't have cigarettes, I'm the first guy to do illegal shit if I can't smoke. And like I've already done illegal shits just so we can smoke in the house. Well, not in the house, but so we can smoke. And I'm sure there's everybody that that's watching this right now is going like, dude, I need to like phone this guy and get in touch with him. So guys, now you know the number. We're gonna keep it on screen for you guys,
Yeah.
so you guys can actually phone Max.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll help Max out and help you guys out, so you guys can actually sort out your lives. I know vocally as a singer, I would love to quit smoking, but
And here's
man,
another
I've
cool question,
tried, Let's
Max.
see.
Do you have to want to be hypnotized in order for it to work?
Well, Valerie, it would help and it would expedite the situation if you actually wanted it. Because you know what, you don't really want to do anything in life you don't want to. We've all got choices and we all have so-called free choice. So we should be doing the things that we actually want to do in life. And we ought not to be doing things that we don't want to do. I mean, that's common sense.
Yeah.
But yes, if you cooperate, the hypnotic process happens a lot quicker rather than resisting it or perhaps not wanting to engage in the process, because it is a process. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes from being conscious to being hypnotized. And yeah, that's accelerated if you actually want to do it. And I would imagine, Valerie, that you would want to do it if it's going to help you stop smoking.
You know what I want to just add to that, Max. From years and years of working with yourself and with Troy in the hypnosis world, is I remember what you guys said this at the beginning of the show. Don't fight it. That's exactly what Valerie. I want to say to Valerie is, Valerie, if you're going out with the intention to stop smoking, don't sit there thinking this will not work. I'm fighting against it. It's pointless if you're getting there. It's the exact same. That's why I got hypnotized so easily. When I got first called up 20 years ago by Troy, I also thought to myself, no, this is nonsense. It won't work. And then when he gave me that intro saying, just relax, breathe deeply, and don't fight me, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm a guy that will give anything a shot. And I went, like you said, Max, I dropped. I was as deep as your deepest subject ever. You know of the times when I ate onions, when I flipping I'm not going to reveal too much, but I did some silly stuff. And that's all I'm trying to say to Valerie is, don't fight it, Valerie. If you want to quit smoking, phone Max, his number is there on the screen, and go there with an open mind as you would to learn something new in life. Let him do his thing, and you'll be amazed at the results.
Well, watch out. I think everybody's talking about smoking. Max, on what different aspects can you use hypnotherapy? Because I know I'm getting super fat. Like when you started out the show, you said that you're keeping your weight kind of the same. You're keeping fit. How can hypnotherapy work for? Because I eat a lot. A lot.
Look, the other big one right now is drinking, because alcohol is also banned. So people are struggling to get their normal supply of liquor, booze, or whatever their favorite tipple is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than having that feeling of being out of control and dependent on these substances. And because you can't get them, now you're becoming agitated and you're becoming annoyed. And I think that's quite sad. I would love for everybody to be able to control this to the point where they just say, well, that's fine. We can't have liquor or cigarettes for the next 8 to 10 weeks. Well, then we don't have it. Rather than getting agitated, getting annoyed, getting short-tempered, getting upset. And this will come about when they do hypnotize themselves and they realize they have this particular self-control. But to answer the other part of your question, when it comes to losing weight, again, I believe that 99% of the time, if you are overweight, and you've said it yourself, Chris, it's because you're overindulging in the food stuffs. So once you have an idea of what's important to you, and it's important, and I'm an image fan. I'm a fan of image. I believe I have to look a certain way, and I can't be, let's say, overweight if I'm going to help someone to lose weight. Same way I can't be smoking 20, 30 cigarettes a day if I'm going to stop someone smoking. I really believe in walking the talk. And it's not a case of, do as I say, not as I do. I don't like that at all. So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of image. When it comes to being overweight, it's largely because we're perhaps eating or drinking too much of the wrong foodstuffs.
Yes.
There's no wrong or bad food per se. I believe it's to do with quantity.
Yeah.
It's the amount of food that you're consuming because we can get overweight on carrots. If we eat enough carrots, we'll get overweight.
Yeah.
Our eyesight might improve, but our waistline's also going to expand. So yeah, it's just a question of being mindful. It's a question of what's important to me, looking
Yeah.
and feeling good, or feeling good because I'm overindulging. I'm drinking like 20 beers, or I'm having 15 cakes or whatever. If that's
Yeah.
more important, then that's going to come with a price tag.
Okay,
And
so
the
it's
price
a
tag for us
mindset thing.
men is
Yeah.
normally a beer belly. And
Yeah.
for the lovely ladies, oh yeah, I know everything is. And you know, the lovely ladies, it normally packs on their backsides and their thighs, and they don't like that. Again, it's just a
Yes.
case of prioritizing and
Mm.
choosing what's more important for me. And if you
Yeah.
know that, you're well on your way. And if you've got a
Okay.
why is that more important for me? Then you're well on your way.
Okay.
Yeah, that is so true. So, listen, Max. How about we've now been talking about the hypnosis part of your life and your work and everything. Well, what advice can you give to our audience? We've had a PG now the other day giving some very good advice. What advice can you give and help as a motivational keynote speaker for people besides now to not overeat, overdrink, overindulge, just to get through these testing times because
Oh yeah.
people's patience are running thin. Chris and myself are watching it on WhatsApp, on
Yeah.
Facebook, and everywhere. These people, they are ready to explode. And what advice can you give just to calm the people down? Like you said at the beginning of the show, take it day by day. Don't look into the future, because I'm so scared of what could happen is what the people are thinking, and then they want to take everything in their own hands. So if you can just give some great advice there for our listeners, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, well, first of all, Whitey, I echo your sentiments. Things are getting grim. However, we've been given an ideal opportunity for really a great deal of self-reflection and introspection. And I would really recommend that everybody takes a good, long, hard look at themselves. Stand in
Yes.
front of the mirror. Don't ask anybody, what do you think of me? You ask yourself that question. You stand in front of the mirror and you ask yourself that same question. What's going on here? And
Okay.
get in tune with yourself. Start to realize what makes me tick. What things do I actually like? What things have I been deprived of these last 6, 7 weeks, which I used to think I could never live without, and now I'm getting on fine. Make mental notes, but also write all this down. And once this lockdown is over, your life will perhaps change. Now, the lockdown might well end, but they reckon restrictions are going to carry on for a great deal of time more. So you really got to know yourself and you've got to remain calm. And
Mm,
I'm going to recommend now that we all spend 5, 10 minutes every day, 5, 10 minutes, just
Yeah.
mm,
meditating, just being still, just getting silent, just tuning into yourself. And never mind the news, never mind the Facebook and the fake news and all the censorship that's going on at the moment. Get to know yourself because we might never have this opportunity. There's a
Yeah.
lot of parents complaining, oh, we're stuck at home with the children. My goodness me, this is perhaps the most beautiful time to bond with your children and really
Yeah.
get to know them because think about it. Normally, we'd be working 8 to 5 or 8 to 8 if
mm,
you're a corporate executive and you don't get to see your children. And now there they are right in front of your face 24 hours a day.
mm.
Grab this opportunity. And you know what? Let them strip. You know, Viktor Frankl in his book, Man's Search for Meaning,
Yeah.
said, you know, you can strip me of everything my dignity, my clothing, my valuables, everything. But the last thing you cannot and will not be able to take from me is my attitude to how I respond to these things.
Yeah.
And that advice is really diamond advice today because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what this lockdown does. You have the choice to remain beat. You have the choice to remain intact, and you have the choice to remain whole. And you don't. You also can choose not to allow this to adversely affect you negatively. Really, but we're all going to bounce back from this, and I promise you, we're going to bounce back faster than we think, and we'll be stronger, we'll be better. I mean, I admire what you and Chris are doing. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
This is a great initiative, and there could be many more people be doing something like this. It's absolutely wonderful what you're doing, Whitey and Chris, and I thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and
Thank
thank you
you,
for those
Max.
kind words.
Wow,
Yeah,
man.
and that actually, that last sentence before that, actually, that like I felt much better after you said it.
Yeah.
I think everybody else does. We will bounce back stronger because that is our attitudes towards life. That is so well
Yeah.
said.
And
We might suffer and panic and freak out, but when everything is back to normal, you'll see us. We'll soldier forward. That's what we do, and that's some good advice. So everybody, I hope you are listening carefully. Remember,
Yeah.
just stick it through. We will bounce back. That's otherwise, if we're not going to bounce back, what's the point? So just stick to
well, dude,
what Max
you know
said.
what?
We will bounce back.
That coming out of a Scotsman's mouth. I was in a Braveheart scene just now, and I was ready. I'm behind you in that line, man. So that worked really well. I think just with the accent and everything you just said, I felt like
Yeah.
one of those guys on that movie in that line going, you know what, they can take everything, and we'll still stand up, and we're gonna be better and stronger and faster.
Exactly.
And you know what, Max? Thank you for giving us your time. And I know everything's not as hectic as it normally is, but I know a lot of the guys also. This is their family time. Normally 7 o'clock from after supper, everybody's chilling and just wanted to have some alone time because everybody's phoning everybody during the day. And we got to thank you, man, just for taking a couple of minutes out of your day to have a chat with us. We appreciate this more than you'll ever know.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we've got we've got a nice question here from Warwick. How's it, Warwick? He's an avid listener to our show, and we really appreciate it. And he's got a very good question there. He's like, "Good evening, Mr. Max. Who was Sir's most famous person to hypnotize, and who would Sir still like to hypnotize?"
Oh yeah.
Well, I've actually hypnotized quite a few famous people on my TV series, which is currently being rebroadcast on channel 156 on DSTV, the SABC Encore. Now that's like 16 years ago, and I hypnotized all the celebrities of South Africa. I hypnotized Just van der Westhuizen, his wife Amor, Barry Hilton, quite a few of the guys. I hypnotized Leon Schuster. The most famous or the richest guy I've ever hypnotized was the Arab Prince in Seychelles.
Yeah.
But one afternoon when I was in the SABC3 studios, and I was in a room getting makeup put on, and two big burly security guards came in and said, "Listen, there's a guy next door who would like to speak to you. He's a big fan of your show, and he wants to chat with you." And I said, "Fine." And I went next door, and there was Madiba, Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
And he couldn't stop laughing. Now, I didn't actually hypnotize him, Warwick, but I did go through the motions of sleep, and Madiba went like that, and everybody was laughing, and it was all good fun. But we tried our hardest. We really did. We tried our damnedest to get Nelson Mandela onto the second series of Nowhere Land with Max Kaan, but it was just impossible because his schedule was so hectic.
Back in the day,
like give you an hour, a minute of the day, never mind an hour on a TV program. But yes,
Well, you know what? I
and
wish
the Arab Prince. I didn't even know the Arab Prince was this Arab Prince. And he was quite a talkative guy. And I'm telling him, now Whitey will tell you when you're hypnotizing, you don't want people talking.
Yeah.
And Whitey mentioned Troy, and Troy's very strict. He's a brilliant hypnotist. And anybody talks during his induction, he's a big guy. He just grabs you and throws you off. So this Arab Prince wouldn't stop talking. And I said to him, "Listen, you, shut up." I said, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to kick you off. Not realizing he owns a bloody island. He owns the Kempinski Resort. If I was to talk to him like that in Saudi Arabia, I would have
Oh
been
yeah.
beheaded.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
you know what? I
God.
wish there's a couple of politicians that I wish you could hypnotize
Yeah.
in our country. I think you could single-handedly change South Africa if we gave you an hour each with each of those guys.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love that, Chris. I'd love
Oh,
that.
I'm
Organize
sure.
Yeah.
that for me, Whitey. I'll do it. I'll do
Yes.
it. Whitey will tell you, Whitey
Yeah.
worked with me for years, and Whitey will tell you, I never
Yeah.
ever shirked away from a challenge. Whether there
Uh,
was 5 people to be hypnotized or 25 or 105, I was in there.
Yeah.
Because,
I
I know
remember
it
this.
works,
yeah. Because
and
I've watched
I
a lot.
never ever,
Yeah.
Sorry, Max.
I never
I've
ever
watched a
shied
lot of
away from a challenge.
I've watched a lot of these Darren Brown things, and I know he's like very involved with that. It's like hypnosis and like subconscious stuff. And God, man, if I could have a drop of the knowledge you guys have, I could change this world. I will use it as a superpower. I might go rogue on some people, but you know what? I think I would use those powers for
Yes.
bettering the world, definitely. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that's
Oh, we
what
must.
you are
We
using it
must.
for.
Max, Max,
I would too.
we've got another question here from
Yeah.
Liz. She would like to know. I can't bring it up because it was sent to my WhatsApp, but I'll read it to you. When and why did you relocate to South Africa? How big was your audience at Sun City? I believe we were the first to do a hypnosis show there. Well, there you go. It's a two-part question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first part, you know what? I lived in America. I lived in San Francisco in 1986 for a year. And in those days, I thought I was like a god. I thought I was invincible. And I was staying with my cousin. And he told me from the day I got there, fill these forms in, get the green card, blah, blah, blah. And I never bothered. I thought, no, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. And of
Yeah.
course, the immigration authorities came looking for me. And my cousin had me on the next plane the very next morning and sent me back to the UK. So now I was in about 1989. I came to South Africa in 1990. And you know what? It's been 30 years now. And I want to tell you, I still have that feeling like I'm on holiday. Now, you know,
Yeah.
when you go on holiday, you're away from your usual everyday run-of-the-mill stuff. You have that feeling of detachment. You have that feeling of no worries, no cares. You're just indulging in pleasure and enjoyment. That's the feeling I've had for the last 30 years. And sometimes I've actually got to pinch myself to realize, you know, you're not on holiday. You actually live here, and South Africa is your home now. And I've
Yeah.
lived in South Africa now longer than I lived in the UK. So I consider myself a South African.
Yes.
Going back to the Sun City thing, yes, I was the first hypnotist to perform at the Super Bowl, and the audience capacity that afternoon was 6,000 people. And I always remember the huge, they had two big, huge screens to the left and to the right. And I kept looking at the screen. I was thinking, my gosh, that guy looks brilliant, not realizing it was me. You know? I'm very modest. I was, I've actually still got that particular show. It was a great show, which you would expect. I was talking earlier about the lack of energy in these empty arenas. Well, that particular Super Bowl was packed. It was full. And the audience, it was just like waves coming at you, waves of energy, waves of laughter, waves of wonderful feeling. The 2 hour show felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
when you know not only were the subjects hypnotized, but the hypnotist himself was hypnotized.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that was 1997, the Sun City Super Bowl. And it was in Star Suite number 1, the same Star Suite that Queen were in, that Frank Sinatra was in. But I did not have a brass plaque, the Max Kaan suite. I didn't have a brass plaque. Nor did I have, Whitey, nor did they give me Perrier ice cubes.
Ach, nee.
Freddie Mercury demanded Perrier ice cubes, and he got them. He got them.
Yeah, and yeah, Max Kaan comes and he didn't get it. I'll give people a call, okay, on your behalf.
Please, yeah.
We've got our next question here from Petrus Botha. He would like to know, do you need a permit to hypnotize during lockdown?
Petrus, I suppose, yeah, if you're going to be traveling, you need a permit, but to do the actual hypnosis itself, if you do it on a Zoom platform, there's no permit needed, sir. But if I was going to travel from my residence to yours or my office to yours, then obviously I would need a permit for that. But no, to do the actual hypnosis part, no permit is required during this lockdown period.
All right, great stuff. Rudy, I think, joined us a little bit late tonight. How's it, Rudy? Also avid listener of our show. Thank you so much. He's like, hi, or do you use hypnosis to stop smoking? Rudy, yeah, you are a bit late, but let Max answer it.
Rudy, absolutely. Stopping smoking, as any hypnotist will tell you, is the number one traffic. More people use hypnosis or hypnotherapy to help them stop smoking than anything else. And the reason it's so effective is because what it's actually doing is it's marrying your conscious mind to your unconscious mind, and it's bringing the two of them together so that they're now focused as one. And that allows you to stop smoking very, very easy, because basically all you're doing is making a decision. But because you've got the two halves of the brain or the two set of minds together, working together, it's very, very easy. There's no deprivation, there's no cravings, nothing. It's so easy, Rudy, you actually get suspicious. You think to yourself, hang on a minute, it can't be this easy, because I've tried for years to stop smoking and I got irritable, or I put on weight, or I was short-tempered, and I'm experiencing none of that. There must be something going on. I can actually stand next to other smokers and I'm not tempted at all to join in. And that's the great thing when you learn what deciding actually means. Deciding, making a decision is like a choice. And sometimes the more choices you have in life, the greater, the more difficult your life becomes. Because quite frankly, people have difficulty making choices. Some people stand in front of the closet in the morning, 10, 15 minutes. What shirt should I wear? Should I wear the red one? Should I wear the blue one, the green one? And then they take the red one out, and then they've got to ask their wife, does this look okay? Should I change it to the yellow one? That's what happens when you have choices. That's what happens when you can't decide. So really, stopping smoking is just a decision. And it's a decision that will have really great health effects and everything else.
Max,
100%.
what is the science behind it? What is the science behind it? Yeah.
The science behind it is what I just touched on there now. How often do you see people, they say one thing, but their behavior indicates something completely different? So that tells you that they're incongruent, that they're not aligned. So basically, to simplify this, they want to go to the left, but they're being pulled to the right. They want to go straight ahead, but they're being pulled either way.
Yeah.
So they're completely out of alignment. They're misaligned completely. Yeah. And when you get the two halves of the brain working together, when you get the conscious mind working together with the unconscious mind, and they're both pointing in the same direction, they both want to stop smoking, there's no more of this, well, let's see what happens, or maybe, or let's give it a try. You don't try, you actually just do it.
Yeah.
So that's really the science, if we can put it like that, Chris, behind this, that you're marrying the two sections of the mind, and you're getting them pointing in alignment to where you actually want to go. And it works the exact same way with weight loss. It becomes very, very, very easy to say no to certain foodstuffs, or it becomes very, very easy to stop at a particular point in time where you don't overindulge. So you can have, let's say, ice cream, but maybe not the whole 2 kilogram tub. And you're able to. Me and Whitey know that one when we used to raid the hotel fridges. Eh, Whitey?
Again, shush, what we did back then. Max, I'm going to get Valerie as the last question for our show tonight before you tell us a little bit about what's coming ahead besides the book and so on, because I think this is a very, very, very good question that a lot of people would like to know. Can hypnotherapy help for depression?
Valerie, absolutely, ma'am. Now, there's a lot of people depressed at this moment in time because of the circumstances and the situation they find themselves in. But depression, again, is a choice. And as I said earlier, you can choose to be upbeat. You can choose to just look a little bit further than the tip of your nose and realize we're going to get out of this. There's always a reason. I believe there's always a reason for why someone's depressed. Like there's a reason for every human behavior. If I keep scratching my ear, there's a reason why. My ear might be itchy, or I might just have a nervous twitch or whatever. But there's a reason behind every human behavior. And if someone is depressed, there's something bothering that person. And if you can find out what that is, and if it is a source of the depression, you can either remove that source, or you can get them to come to terms with it and look at it from a different perspective. Look at it, let's say, less seriously, if I can say that. You know, for example, Valerie, there's a lot of people depressed about things they know nothing about. There's a lot of people depressed about things they can do absolutely nothing about. And this is largely brought on by the social media platforms that we find ourselves on nowadays, because people are becoming concerned with things that, number one, they're not really interested in. And number two, they're becoming concerned with things that they're not even close to. They can't do anything, absolutely anything about. So we shouldn't be getting depressed, but we are. And we're allowing ourselves to become depressed. So again, to a great degree, it's a choice. It's also a case of being mindful, because you can quite easily slip into a kind of bad mood or a dull mood or a depressed mood quite easily. And what you should be doing is you should be monitoring yourself throughout the day. How am I feeling? And if you're feeling okay, well, that's great. If you're feeling excited and fantastic, that's wonderful. But if you're feeling down and depressed, you should ask yourself, what has happened that's made me feel like this? And, you know, when you ask that question, you realize, oh, so-and-so didn't smile at me, or so-and-so didn't greet me, or so-and-so said something negative or nasty, and I've allowed that to impact me. And that helps bring you back online, because, Valerie, we can't be high as a kite 24 hours a day. They'll lock us up if we're like that. But by the same token, ma'am, we ought not to be depressed. And in the depths of despondency, 24 hours a day, not a chance. And the problem with depression is, if it goes unchecked, it tends to multiply. It tends to become worse and worse.
Snowballs,
and worse. Snowballs, absolutely. So we're just going to be mindful. How am I feeling right now? What am I thinking right now? And you answer that. And it's quite amazing how it makes you feel when you start to monitor your own feelings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
100%.
introspection that actually has to go on for you to actually make peace with what you can and can't change.
Absolutely. You know, I'd love to think I could change the world, but I can't. But I can certainly do a lot to change myself as an individual, and to, you know, come across as the best version that I can. I'm not perfect, but I do my best to be the best version of what I'm all about, what I do.
Yeah.
I'm always endeavoring to do that.
And that is a change in the world, in a sense, because if you change your mind, even if you don't change somebody else's mind by what you say, if you just walk past somebody with a smile, that might be all that that person needed for the day to take them out of that depression. So make the change for yourself to make the change to the world, something like that. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, a smile is really like golden sunshine. And I say I'm a big fan of the sun. And I say to people every morning, look at the sun and imagine just awarding yourself a gold medal. You've not done anything yet, but there's the bright, glorious yellow golden sun shining. And that's your gold medal. So take that gold medal, wrap it around your neck, and walk proud and tall. And it doesn't matter what happens to you, who does or says what to you. You choose how you're going to respond.
Yeah.
You choose how you're going to act. And I can promise you, if you do this, if you award yourself this gold medal first thing in the morning, I promise you nothing can upset you. Now, what a wonderful world it would be if we were actually given a gold medal first thing in the morning without doing anything, without winning a race, without engaging, without partaking, nothing. We just get given this gold medal. It would be a fantastic feeling. And you can have that fantastic feeling by giving yourself. the gold
Exactly.
medal. But look up at the sun, the majestic sun. It's 93 million miles away. Yet we can see its light and we can feel its heat. So give yourself that gold medal. I
Brilliant.
tell you something, it's better than any Prozac tablet or any of these other antidepressants that we're currently all gulping down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
making
gold
the
medal,
pharmacist rich.
well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Whitey.
Max, we thank you so much for joining us. Now, like I said to you earlier at the beginning of the show, tell us quickly in a synopsis what is your plans besides the books now? What's happening for Max afterwards? What's
What
coming
can we
out?
expect from Max Kaan from after this lockdown and during this lockdown? How can we get in? Okay, we know how we can get in touch with you. We got your personal cell phone number, but what's happening in Max Kaan's life after this?
Okay, well, you know what? Once we get back to normal, if we ever get back to normal,
Yeah.
guys, I'm here for the long run. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm writing 4 books right now. I'm writing 1 book on general feeling good. I'm writing a book on smoking, weight loss, and a book on memory. I believe memory is a really big, important thing. But after the lockdown's over, you know, much of my game is people's game. I need a crowd. I need an audience. I need to be in front of people. So once that is resumed, I'm going to be doing my road shows, my Max Way to Stop Smoking road shows, the Max Way to lose weight, to keep your figure slim and trim. So I'm going to be on the road doing that. But I'm just patient. I'm not rushing anything. I can't rush anything because I'm not a politician. I'm not in the government. I'm not a decision maker at that level. I'm just taking it easy, but I'm keeping myself busy, and that's the main thing.
Brilliant.
And I'm upbeat. I'm excited.
Yes, and I could feel that energy, and I know for a fact Chris will say exactly the same thing. That he felt that energy as well. Yeah, I think my camera just went. Oopsie, I'm
Yes,
frozen
it
solid.
did. So it's just me and you, Max. But Max, once again,
That's
I've got to
fine.
say thank you for your time. We will definitely, you know what, we might even come back to you if this lockdown carries on. We might need a bit more positivity, and I think with all the
Please.
motivational speakers and especially guys like you, you know, you guys are like a light at the in a freaking dark cave. It's amazing how you guys can take us out of this negative mindset because, you know, like you said, with Twitter and everything going on, you under that constant freaking pressure of what social media and all this fake news and shit's talking about. And guys like you guys are like an escape. It's you give our mind something else to. You light that fire inside of us, and thank you for that.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you,
Awesome.
Whitey.
Awesome,
And, I
Max.
can't wait to be back on.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed myself tonight.
Thank you
absolutely,
very much.
Max.
It's been good fun.
It was
Great
really
fun.
good fun, informative, and it just lifted the spirits again. And guys, once again, Max's contact details are there at the bottom, maxcan.com. Facebook is Max Kaan. Instagram, max.can, and cell phone number 082-924-8693 if you want to get in touch with Max. But Max, again, thank you so much for joining us. There was the preemptive itch you were referring to earlier. It's just an itch. There's no hidden agenda behind it. So thank you so much, Max.
Okay, that's it. Pleasure.
Take
Thanks,
care
guys.
and have a good evening.
Yeah.
God bless you.
You too.
Man.
Cheers.
Bye.
Oh, wow. What a good show. What a brilliant
Awesome.
show.
You know what I love about these guys, and it's like I told him, it's like they literally just get that spark going. They just keep that candle burning. That's inside of all of us, man. And that's I think something that all of us need at the moment. Every day it's getting harder and harder to try and keep a bit of positivity and a bit of freaking light going.
Yeah.
And you know, guys like this bring a bit of change in the world. And I think if there's more of them, the world will be a better place. And I know I'm one of those oaks, dude. As ek in 'n pissed off mood is, fucking kan ek nie happy clappies in positive people nou en dan handle nie.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Jy wil net klippe kou. Oeps.
Yeah, but at the moment, I think, you know, with guys like that, especially in this setting and this time now, they are golden, man. And I think, you know what, just by them giving us their time to have a chat with you guys about all of this stuff, I know this is going to breed a bit of positivity.
Yeah.
You know what? with just the stuff that he said, some of you might not even need the therapy. I think he made it clear to us that everything is inside here, man.
Exactly.
The
And
biggest
guys,
change.
exactly true. It all starts with you. You have to decide to be happy. You have to decide to go to the doctor. You have to decide to go to the therapist. Now, instead of deciding to take the damn pill to make you feel better and damage your liver, decide to just be happy. Just be happy, as simple as that. But listen, while I've got a lot of guys still watching the show, tomorrow night, Chris, is a big one.
Just,
Tomorrow night, we have got Mr. Jack Barrow.
en die fucking huis, papa.
Duidelik!
Duidelik.
Jack Barrow gaan in die huis wees. Môre aand 7:00. Tomorrow night 7:00, guys. Dik duidelik, want jy dink jy's cooler as ek met daai beautiful mullet in die foto. It's going to be amazing.
En ek weet hy's een van die pragtigste, lekkerste dudes om mee te chat, bro. Hy's soos ons in die oude freaking brandewyn company. Come on.
Exactly. Hoe gangster is dit?
Jy moes fucking vlerke op daai foto gesit het.
Ek moes.
Ek hoop hy stuur vir ons 'n bottel fucking Jack Barrow brandas deur die pos of something, dat hulle nie kan steel of fucking ons oplaag voor nie.
Exactly. Rudy het bietjie laat aangesluit en gaan nou die hele ding kyk, want dit was moer wings gewend. Ja, Pel gaan kyk, dit was baie cool geweest en ja, ek is bly hy kon weer jou vraag vir jou geantwoord het, want mense moet dit leer, mense moet dit weet. So gaan kyk dit. Ons gaan goodbye sê, Valerie, absolute pleasure. Guys, please remember to like and subscribe.
Do that shit, please. We need your help. Ons nommers gaan so 'n bietjie af. Remember, this is just the stuff we're doing in lockdown. After lockdown, we are going to be doing a lot of more crazy stuff. And well, you know what the cool thing is, Wati? We can actually go to the people's homes. We are going to involve
do
you
live
guys.
Interviews.
Yeah,
with
SA
them.
Bros is all about the people, man. Although we love the spotlight and it's something that we've worked with for all our lives, I think SA Bros has become more about what you guys want, what you guys feel, and how we can interact with you. Because you guys have been our escape this whole time.
Yes.
Ek kan Whitey kan die hele dag hier so sit en kak praat, maar die oomblik as julle ouens online kom, man, is dit 'n ander wêreld. Dis is om saam met ons pelle te wees.
Exactly. And then guys, another big one on Wednesday as well. We have got, now this is a very informative one. We've got Dr. Nicola Reins in the house. Now, this I've decided to bring her onto the show. We have decided to bring her on the show for you guys to ask her questions about this coronavirus. Is it really as deadly as the media says? Is it really as scary as the media says? Do we really have to do all these funny things that the politicians have us wanting to do? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm giving examples of questions. It's open to you. We'll start asking her a few questions from our side, but this is for you. You guys must ask as many questions. Get your friends involved and so on, because sometimes ENCA and the SABC News, they don't explain it properly enough, and then you can't ask somebody because there's nobody there. This is your time. There's going to be a doctor in the house. She is doing it. She is working every single day. She's a frontline hero in the fight against this virus that's apparently destroying the whole world and that put us into lockdown. So please, guys, come and watch Wednesday evening with Dr. Nicola Reins. She is absolutely amazing. Will be very cool. And you guys must have your questions ready, and she will explain it to you as simply as she can for us to know exactly what we can and can't do. So that's also a big one. But otherwise, Thursday and Friday is still
we've got
prepared.
Special guests. We're just not telling you guys about it.
Yeah,
but don't worry,
exactly.
We've got some of the more cream of the crop guys coming your way. And listen, this is what we do. We aim to please you guys. We work our asses off so we can get these guys for you. Keep it up, man. We thrive on your support. That's all we need. We
Simple
can feed off that shit forever. But see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big one. Vertel jou maatjies fucking het gaan mal raak, bro. Môre is SA Bros.
Ja.
Freaking kill it one.
Ja, ou Zander gaan in die huis wees, Jack Barrow. So guys, love you guys a lot. Have fun.
Salute. Stay safe. Well, goodbye.
Bye, everybody. From SA Bro.